4, 3, 2, 1.
He was looking at his big
Welcome to
bowl.
Not Your Average
Well,
Guys. Yeah.
that's partly true. But partly, my camera is between me and the screen that I'll see to see you guys. And my
Uh,
camera's probably like the closer I am, the more of it
blocking.
blocks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, here we are. It's the Not Your Average Guys show. Tuesday, June 10th. Dan's eating, what'd you say, protein cereal
Protein cereal. Yeah.
out of the big bowl? Uh, that's a nice bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You could
The
eat
bowl
some
gets
cereal
squished.
out of it, or you could like mix some bread in it.
Or salad,
You could make a
like a
salad in it
like a
for the whole
family size
family.
salad. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, um, I got to see Dan last night. Watched his kid play some baseball. They
Nice.
won. I was I was pleasantly surprised because I got there in like the bottom of the first inning, I think, and it was already,
6-0.
I think it was like 6-0. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and things were not looking great. But apparently, they just needed some time to warm up and mesh as a team, and the other team needed some time for their pitchers to all wear out.
Yeah.
And
They had a pretty good pitcher
turns
those
out,
first 4 innings.
Yeah, that
turns
makes a
out
huge
they
difference in that age group.
won the game. What, 13-10?
13-10, 2-hour time limit.
Yeah,
So the other team could have had
sixth
another
inning or something
inning.
like that.
Yeah, they could have had another inning to try to bring it back. And
Right.
honestly, I feel like they probably could have just as easily as not.
Well, the Royals lost 10 to
Yeah,
2 today.
maybe.
10-2.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Who are they
Um,
playing?
The New York Yankees.
It's good if you're the Yankees.
Hmm.
yeah, I guess so. Yep. I won today. I was just talking to
There you
Jimmy on
go.
the phone a little while ago,
Doing some
and
sports betting.
no, um, but that's good probably because I probably would have bet on the Royals. Uh,
Yeah.
You
and
could
then
bet
I
on
would
the
have
Royals
lost.
losing.
What?
You
Could
could
bet
bet
on
on
them
the
losing.
Royals losing.
Yeah, they're not consistent enough.
No.
It's hard to tell when they're going to win or lose.
Yep.
What are they at
But
the on the year?
I don't know what the exact number is, but they're above 500 by a couple games.
yeah,
Okay.
they're like 34 and 32 or something like that, aren't they?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Or maybe 35 and 33 now. No, here's how I won. Dan, we're asking about that car last night because I was driving it still, and it was still kind of iffy. And man, I pulled the top out of the transmission today,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little bit scary. And because I'm not a transmission guy.
Yeah.
Uh, and pulled it apart and put new part in there and put it back
What was the part?
together. And I just got back from, it's a little solenoid. It's the torque converter lockout solenoid, lock up solenoid. So it's basically, I mean, it's this tiny little solenoid. I mean, it's like, well, it's about the size of this. This is kind of like a little eyedropper
Uh-huh.
thing, but that's about the size of that little part that I just replaced. And
Huh.
also about the same shape because it goes down. There's like an O-ring here and here, and you like snap it down into this valve body, and then it has two wires that plug in and a little cover that snaps onto the side, covers up those wires.
So what is it
And
actuating?
anyway, so it is telling the torque converter clutch to engage and disengage.
Okay.
So I don't even know how it works. Like there's not like there's no gear, it's not like there's no mechanical engagement happening from that little solenoid. I guess it's essentially vacuum, like
Okay.
putting pressure or pulling pressure or something. That's my guess. I don't even know.
Huh.
But yeah, I was pretty happy with myself. I recorded it, so I'll put it on YouTube. And it won't be as good as the other guy that I watched to learn how to do it. But hey, somebody might accidentally watch mine instead of his.
Was it a replacing the solenoid video? That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay.
Instructional
It's
video.
it's not going to be super instructional. It's more going to be like, hey, look, I did this, and you probably can too, unless you can't, and then maybe don't try.
How did you get to the top of the transmission? I can't really picture that.
So thankfully, um, so the transfer case is essentially sitting right on the back of the motor,
Mm-hmm.
and the transmission is that's the beginning of the transmission.
Right.
So, and that's where the torque converter would be right up by the flywheel, kind of.
Right up by the
So that
firewall.
thing,
Or beyond the firewall of
yeah,
the
the
gate.
back of the valve cover, the back like three bolts are down in underneath the like bell housing of the firewall.
Yeah.
So that was a little tiny bit tricky on those three bolts, but not crazy. I had just a wobble joint on my extension
On your socket.
and could get them. Actually,
Yeah.
those back two, I just used the ratchet and a real short socket and was able to kind of get back in between the firewall and that bolt. And it was, like didn't have a long throw on the ratchet, but
Yeah.
got him out of there. Anyway, yep. Just got back from driving it, making sure it works again. Cleared the codes. Lights stopped flashing on the dash. Made me feel good.
You should always
Nice.
test drive your vehicle after working on them.
Yeah, you should tell your story
I
about
learned that the hard way. Yeah, I did learn that the hard way. Yeah, apparently you guys both know that story, but I don't know if the
We
internet
know the
does.
story. The internet doesn't know the story yet.
So,
I could tell
man,
my
how
version of
long
it. I
ago
could
would
tell
that have been?
everyone else's version of it, and then you could tell your version of it. You want to do that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm fine with you telling your, that'll
So,
probably be more honest.
yeah, that'll probably be more honest.
Less excuses.
So, yeah, once upon a time, only this is a true story. Darcy, who's on the call right now, was having not so much marital troubles as just a general discontent with life. Not specifically anything about his wife, but you know how it is when you're married. That's a lot of your life. And so he concocted this plan to basically accidentally eliminate the brakes on her car. And they live at an intersection that is pretty quick moving road. And his wife, like she would be expected to, got in her car that he had fixed and drove herself out into the middle of an intersection with no brakes and was T-boned. But fortunately for Darcy, she lived, and he was able to pretend like it was all just a big misunderstanding. But his wife did start treating him better after that, and happily ever after. Is that it? Is that the one? Is that the
Well,
version of it that you were saying was a bit more honest?
Well, there are a couple elements of the story in that story, I guess. It did
Okay.
involve brakes, yes.
Okay.
Oh
And it was
man,
an accident. It was
I don't even
multiple
remember
accidents.
how it
Yeah,
was.
Jeffrey Epstein killed
It was
himself.
multiple.
It was multiple accidents.
Oh man, I'm trying to think how long ago how long we'd been married at that point. We'd only been married for less than 5 years, probably.
We lived at Harding Meadows.
I knew
Right.
you at the time, so it had to be like post 2006.
Okay.
So my guess is that Marcella being 18, she was probably 1 or 2. Because we had both girls when you guys got that car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we got that car the same time you got that Concorde.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we had it for a little while.
Dan, you had a Concorde?
Yeah, Anna and Sarah's uncle had them as fleet vehicles, and he bought them for a little bit of nothing and gave them to us.
Yep.
He gave us a
Yeah.
Concorde and them a Dodge
Intrepid.
Intrepid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Super cool cars.
I hated the Concorde.
We kind of liked the Intrepid. It was pretty roomy inside. We took a couple of good trips in that car. We drove that car. Okay, all right. This can be the Intrepid story segment right here. All right, so let me defend myself first.
Against what?
And although this will be the end of that Intrepid's lifespan.
Okay.
But okay, so
what you're saying is you liked the Intrepid. You wouldn't have allowed it to be harmed just to get rid of your wife.
Right, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that was a
makes
good
sense.
car. So, all right.
Sometimes you just have to have a sacrifice.
A sacrifice
for the greater good.
I'm cheap, and so I work on my own vehicles. And most likely that thing had needed brakes for 6 months. Who knows?
And probably
also
probably current license tags.
Well, now Anna drove that one, so it stayed current. But most likely I had been asked more than once to look at the brakes on that car. So it was, as I am prone to do, it was the night before I was going out of town for a week. I was like, I got to do these brakes. So got home from work and tore into the brakes, and just like tonight, finished up in the dark. It started raining. I just got everything put back together and threw all my tools back in the garage and went in, took a shower, and went to bed. So then I got up early the next morning and got picked up, and we were headed out of town. So I was nearly an hour gone, I think, when she got in the car and to go to work. And yeah, like Dan said, our street went right out onto a main road, 45-mile-an-hour speed limit out there. And she went down to the end of the street where normally she would stop at the stop sign and push the brakes to the floor because I had not reset the, reset the caliper after having depressed it all the way back in. So she pushed brakes to the brake pedal to the floor. Car didn't stop at all, just rolled right out into traffic. She got, let's see, she got hit in the front corner by a, how did it go? How did it work? I think she hit two vehicles. Because I think that the one vehicle hit her and spun her and made her go the opposite direction that she would have gone to work. Maybe it was only the one vehicle. Maybe she didn't hit another one. But it was like it was the AT&T truck with the trailer on it. Like it wasn't stopping. And it spun her and sent her north down the road, and then she's still, foot to the floor, and just kind of decided, I'm gonna drive off the road into that grassy church park, or church lawn with a hill, and that's where she stopped, like up in the grass in the church lawn down the road
So,
from our house.
not an excuse,
Then
but did you bleed fluid or did you just depress the calipers? What was
just depress the calipers. So here's the thing, and this is, this has been mentioned over the years, I guess. Had I gotten into that car and headed down the street, I would not have had that accident, because I would have felt the brakes be spongy right off the bat, and I would pumped them and they would have locked back out and everything would have been good. But my wife is not a mechanic, and she doesn't work on vehicles. She doesn't, and she knows how they're supposed to work. And if
Push
it's
the
not going
brake
to,
pedal, the car stops.
and that's supposed to stop you.
If it
Yeah. So
doesn't,
when you do that, then what? So, I think she knows now, because we had that talk. But but
yeah, it
yeah,
was her fault.
unfortunately, yeah. I mean, the airbag went off. She had a big old bruise across her body from the seatbelt. Her face was all like sunburned looking from the airbag smacking her.
like a rug?
And yeah, and the cop, like, he settled down, but initially he was like pissed at her because mm, she was probably 100 yards down the road from where it happened, and he was like mad that she didn't stop at the at the accident. And she's like,
You mean he was mad she didn't stop at the
that's,
stop sign?
yeah, I guess. And so that kind of flustered her too, so she calls me and she's crying and frustrated and upset, and I'm an hour outside of town. I'm like, well, and oh yeah, so we must have been married for a while, because my buddy who I was riding with was like, do we need to go back? And I was like, nah.
Wow.
So I called some friends, and they came and got her, and I think we lived right next to that body shop, so I'm pretty sure we just had them grab the car and tow it over, because it would have been one block basically to get towed back home. I think I can't remember. I can't remember what we did with that. Actually, that one the insurance might have just towed that one.
You know what we should do is get Anna's perspective on this story.
Yeah.
We have our first caller, Anna.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the end of that car. But okay, and I feel like I've maybe told this story on the podcast before, but we had another, like I said, we like taking trips in that car. It was roomy. It had a huge trunk and a big old back seat. It was real nice for cruising down the interstate in. But at one point we drove that thing out to West Virginia just to visit some friends. And we were staying in a hotel, and let's say we were probably, I'm guessing that it was like Sunday morning. We're going to drive home all day Sunday. So we stayed in this hotel Saturday night, get up Sunday morning early-ish, pack up our stuff, and I start hauling it down to pack the car. I go out to the car in the parking lot, and there's a note on the windshield. I'm sorry I hit your car. I didn't see it. I backed into it. And so our rear bumper is like just bashed in, not like crazy, but they're those big old plastic bumpers, and it's just like inverted. And I think the taillight was broken. And so, like, oh man. But they left their name and number and all their information. And so it was just like, well, that's kind of crazy and still drivable. Whatever, we're good. So we pack everything up and we check out of the hotel and we leave and we drive less than 15 miles down the road. And we're going to go get gas. So we pull into the gas station, and it was one of those times when I don't remember why, but there were lines at the gas stations at the time. So we pulled into the gas station and
September
we're
11th,
in
2001.
No, because we were moved away. It would have been in like 03, 04 or something like that, probably. And so we were sitting in line waiting for the gas pump, and this Suburban is parked over up at the gas station in the parking space, had gone in to get snacks or whatever. And this dude comes out, jumps in his Suburban, and backs out of his parking space and backs clear across the parking lot and just smashes into the driver's side of of our car. Just gets both doors, backs right into us.
That car was just,
And we're in line, like we can't go anywhere. And so I'm like, see it coming, but you don't think it's gonna happen. You don't think guy's gonna like, he
Just
doesn't
smash
need to
into it.
back that far out. Yeah, he doesn't need to back all the way into me. But he
Just
did. He just backs all the way just right into the side of my car. And so he jumps out and he's like, "Oh man. Oh, ah, I guess I just been relying on those backup beepers too much and it didn't go off." I was like,
You didn't even
you
look.
might need to look. Might need to look behind you when you're backing up. He's like, "Oh yeah, you probably do." And so he, gave me all of his information and stuff. And car's still drivable, just bashed in on the side. And so we drove it home like that. Drove back to our house in Gladstone and took it to the body shop next door, and they fixed it up that time. but got backed into twice in the same day, same morning, within hours of each other.
That's wild. What are the
Yeah, it
odds?
was crazy.
That's what you get for driving a vehicle that's basically the same color as the road. Oh wait, it's bright
It
white.
was bright white. Yeah, it was a pretty good looking car, I
Too
think.
aerodynamic. People couldn't see it.
Probably.
It
Yeah.
was like they were basically the same car, except that the Chrysler was like a pile of crap, and like they had the same
And
engine in them,
the
didn't they?
styling wasn't as right, right,
They had
yeah.
the same
The
engine,
styling wasn't
same
as cool.
chassis, but the styling
Uh-huh.
on ours was just like bubbly. It was like when they were like real bubbly, like,
Yep, it was.
and ours was like
I don't remember what year that was. It was
ours
like a
was
98.
noticeably longer, but the trunk had less space in it, and you sat kind of lower compared to the windows in it. You couldn't see out as well.
Uh-huh.
I hated ours.
Yeah, they did sit
It was
pretty
styled
low.
very different.
Yes. I'm looking this thing up. I'm gonna find a picture of ours. Cause oh, there it is, but it's not a good view. It's not a good view of it. Oh yeah, they used them for police cars a couple places. Remember
Mhm.
that?
Yep.
Huh. I guess that. Oh, where'd it go?
Dude, while we've been on here,
Yeah.
I uploaded my short for the day,
Uh-huh.
and it's at 574 views already. No, it's
Whoa.
at 600. It's at
In
600
30
and
minutes?
yeah, no, like 15 minutes.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
here we go. This is our car, although ours did have a spoiler. Okay, here we go. I'll do a little screen share. Uh, there it is.
Yeah.
We had that exact car, except it had a spoiler, so it was just a hair sportier.
I feel like yours was whiter than that.
Yeah, it might have been. It
That's like
also
the
had
pearl
like
one.
really dark. Yeah, that might be the pearl colored one. But it was a good car for us. Here, let's find Dan's car. Dan had the Chrysler Concorde. So what year? Those were like, what year were those things? 2002? That's what this
Probably.
one is. Yeah, probably.
They weren't that old.
Uh, no.
I can picture it in my head. So if you
Chrysler
pull up a 2000, I bet it's about a 2000 or 99.
Concorde. Yeah. All right. Whoa, it's not that. Oh, there's yours. Uh, yep, here's Dan's.
Yep. That's that is it.
What year is that?
It's probably like 2000. Oh, this actually says 2004, but I don't think
No.
they really changed the styling for a couple of years.
I'm gonna see.
Uh,
2000.
Yeah, that looks like basically 98, 99, 2000, 2001. They were all the same. Actually, here, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. On that picture you were showing, I was like, the back end of it was longer, but the back end of it was longer because they stuck way on out there. The back
Uh-huh.
bumper was like goofy.
Yep.
Did yours have those funky tail lights?
Yeah. No.
The Intrepid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Uh,
lines.
yeah, let me see what I'm going back to the, here's what the rear of ours looked like. Just like, just like that.
Oh,
Dude, you know what's kind of funny? I'm pretty sure he gave about $2,000 for those cars back
Yeah.
then because
Uh-huh.
they're fleet vehicles. According to this, a 2000 Chrysler Concorde is worth about $1,986 now.
It's exactly the same.
held its
That
value.
is, I'm pretty sure I sold ours for 3,200. Just
Dang.
like,
Really?
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. When did you get rid of that
32,
thing?
32 or 4,200. I don't know, but Dustin Schmidt was still working for me because I parked it in his front yard right there on 155th and let
Mm-hmm.
him talk to people about, you know, I gave him a couple $100 for parking it in his yard, and because it was on a main road in and out of that subdivision where people would buy that type of car.
Yep.
And 2 days, I think he had it gone.
Nice. Oh,
Didn't
I don't
Dustin. Have
remember.
you
get
seen him in a
smashed
while?
in your driveway for a little while, Darcy?
I've seen him within the last couple of years, but not super recently. I've talked to him on the phone. He got me to bid his dad's deck, and he warned me that his dad was a pain in the neck before I bid it, and I didn't
Really?
get the job. Mm-hmm.
Huh. I
He
always
said
liked
not.
his dad.
Yeah, he's super nice, but Dustin's like he's super particular. So
Oh yeah, I could see
figure
that.
that figure that into your cost because he's super particular.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I didn't get the
Um,
job because I figured super particular to me is like a pain in the butt because I already do good work.
mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily need the client to be like the type of person. He basically was like, it doesn't matter how good you do it, you're gonna be redoing some things.
Mm,
Like, oh great.
that's no good. What'd you say, Jimmy?
I said, didn't you have that wrecked car sitting out in your driveway for a while?
Maybe.
I think you did.
Yeah, I might have just told the insurance to drag it back to our house.
Throw it over the fence.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really remember what happened to it ultimately, but
It was totaled by that point, right? Like
I think so. Yeah.
not just body damage, but like
Yeah, it like broke the engine mounts and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't good.
That's an expensive brake job.
That was the yeah, it was. Yep, that was the end of that. And then that was when we started buying Subarus. Well, I'd had one before.
you already had one before that.
Yeah, that was a good car.
Well, then didn't you have some kind of SUV, Honda or something?
Yeah, so we did. So after that Intrepid, we got the our first Outback. We drove that for some years, and then we got rid of that and got a Subaru Forester. Had that for some years. Then we had this really nice or no, it was in between the Outback and the Forester that we had this really nice Toyota Camry. It was
I do
it was
remember
kind
that.
of gold colored.
I do
Yeah,
remember
or
that one.
champagne maybe.
It's high level.
That thing, yeah, that was pretty funny. So remember whenever I sold that car, uh, I sold that Camry on Craigslist because back then Craigslist was a place you could sell things. And some old boy came over and, you know, probably lowballed me a little bit, but I mean, it was that thing leaked oil so bad.
Got a little
So
smoky
I
when you're
wasn't,
driving it.
oh, it was so smoky. Yeah. So I wasn't like, you know, didn't have super high expectations. So old boy came over and offered me some money for it and gave me a sob story about needing it for his daughter because she's got some kids and
I
her
remember that.
minivan had just died. And so he was going to try to fix the minivan, but he wanted to get her something cheap that would just get her around for a little while until he could get that back going. So I sell him this car and he gave me like half the money right then and then drove away and then came back either that evening or the next day with
Drove away
somebody
with the
else.
car or without the car?
Mm-mm, without the car.
Okay.
And then his wife or somebody brought him over later or the next day. And he brought a license plate with him and put a license plate on that car and then drove it away. And they left and he gave me the rest of the money. Well, then, I don't know, 4 months later, this girl comes knocking on our door and she's asking about that car. Did you sell a car as this and such car? Like, yeah. They're like, do you have any information about the guy that you sold it to? Like, no. Oh, and in the meantime, Jimmy sends me a listing on Craigslist and is like, look at this. And it's a car that I don't pay too much attention to it. It's a car that looks a whole lot like Jimmy's old car that is on there for like what, $4,000 or something like that. And
Way
I think
more
I
than.
sold it for like six. I think I sold it for like 600. And it had seat covers on it because the front seats were just shredded. And the like I said, the it leaked so much oil and it had so many miles on it. I think the odometer said like 370,000 or something like that, but it was jacked up, right? What was
Yeah,
the deal with it?
it was. It
It
just
was
didn't
going
record
too
right.
fast, maybe.
Yeah, it was like double the miles or something.
And so Jimmy finds this listing on Craigslist, and it's like low mileage Camry with a great interior and runs great. And this guy says,
Like
so
new
that's what the
condition.
listing says it's in great condition. It runs great. It's been his daily driver for the last 2 years and he's just upgrading or whatever, that type of deal. And so when Jimmy sent me the listing, I was like, nice car. And then later he's like, dude, that's my car. I'm like, what? And then we look again. And he's like, look, I can tell from these, like that dent right there. I, I know how that happened and, or whatever, you know?
Right.
He's like, that's the car. I'm like, no way. So yeah, so this dude paid $600 to me or whatever, dumped a bunch of stop leak in the engine, put some seat covers on it, glued the headliner back up, and
Just a
sold it
car
for like
rehabber.
$4,000. Oh, and turned the odometer back and sold it to some girl,
And then it blew up on
like
her.
some young girl, and she had it for like 2 weeks, and the motor seized up, and then she couldn't find him. The phone number that she had for him was disconnected, and and I'm like, dude, I don't know. And my name was on the title. He had never titled it to his name. He just reassigned it.
Right.
And so that's how they found me.
You
And
talking the
she
police or
came,
just the girl?
no, so she came by herself, I think, during the day and knocked on the door, and Anna talked to her. And Anna's like, you're going to have to talk to my husband about that. And so then when they came back that evening, it was her and like her dad or whatever, all ready to be all upset and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You bought a pretty crappy car for a lot of money. I
You tell them how much you got for it?
don't remember. Probably.
How did your name end up on the title instead of Jimmy's?
Jimmy gave it to me because we were needing a car. That Subaru Outback, it was having issues. It was having timing issues. And man, I learned this later. And now that later I worked on other Subarus. Or maybe it was that one. I don't remember.
That was today, wasn't it? That you worked on the Subaru?
I did work on a Subaru today, but not on timing.
Oh,
Um, that one, I can't remember what the deal was with it, but I couldn't get it to run right. And so I just decided to sell it. And Jimmy had this Camry, and you guys had gotten, what car had you had gotten another vehicle? You drove out to St. Louis to get it. What was that
that
car?
Passat,
That was that was the Passat. Oh yeah,
the other
I
car I
had
gave
that
you.
car. You gave me that car too. So yeah, you had gone out to get that Passat, and that was Anna's car then.
Right.
And so this Camry was just sitting there, and it sat for a while.
Yeah.
So you were like, if you want to see if it'll run, you can have it. So I put a new battery in it, I think, and drove it home and made Anna drive it for a while.
And she
Yeah,
loves
so I mean, oh yeah, it's a great car for
it.
her. I don't think it had any air conditioning, and it smoked. It smoked so bad.
Like not out of the exhaust, but out of the engine. like,
No,
like
all
roll up into
out
the
of
windows.
everywhere. Oh man, I don't know how many times she'd be driving that thing and come up to an intersection, and people would be like, "Hey, your car is smoking," and she's just like, "I know."
I can see it.
we just we just kept a case of oil in the trunk of it.
Oh my gosh, that's too
And
funny.
man, I tried to fix those leaks. I worked on that thing for days. And I'm pretty sure I found and fixed like 4 oil leaks.
Mm.
And it was
It's like
still pouring out of that
just
thing.
like bolts that were loose or what?
Ah, I can't remember. different gaskets and things. And yeah, I think I replaced like the valve cover gasket, and I don't remember, but I couldn't get it to stop. I think I pulled a couple of sensors out of the side of the motor and replaced those because there was leaking out of those things. Like the oil pressure sensor was just pouring oil out, and I don't know. I never stopped it.
Did I tell you that
But
when I finally got the coil packs for the 8-cylinder Tundra, I think 6 out of 8 of the coils were cracked.
Dang.
And one had been replaced previously. And 4 out of the 8 spark plugs were almost seized. I thought we were going to break the spark plug in half, trying to torque them out of there.
oof,
2 of them were loose. The spark
that's
plugs.
weird.
And that thing drives like a dream now that we tightened all the spark plugs down and got new coil packs to where all the cylinders actually fire when they're supposed to. I mean, it's like
That's Judas.
like a new being. Yeah. It's got its oomph back too. It was like
Nice.
what it felt like when we were driving it, when at least a couple of the coil packs were going out and then 2 spark plugs were loose. It felt like the engine was having a fist fight with itself. When you'd hit the gas, it'd be like, I mean, it was like, dude, this thing is just gonna blow up. Like you almost thought the suspensions were going out on you or something. It was shaking around so much.
Dang.
Get all the spark plugs replaced and all the coils, and that engine just purrs. Still burns a little bit of oil, but I mean, it's 380,000 miles, so.
Yeah, that Camry burned a lot of oil, but it was on the outside of the muffler. Actually, one of the
It
main
dripped
leaks
down on the muffler.
dripped down. It dripped down to the backside of the motor, and you know those like mesh looking exhaust joints that'll move. So it's like kind of like a sponge. And so
Oil going on
oil
that.
would just drip down onto that, and it was just full, and so it would just burn forever. It would just burn and smoke 100% of the time.
Plus it'd have air going through there, so it'd
Yeah,
get hotter faster.
yeah, it was great.
That's crazy.
Yep. So we got rid of that, and we got that Forester, and then we had the Forester until Anna wanted a bigger vehicle, wanted more seats. That was when your kids were a little bit littler, and she was always wanting to be able to, if she was down at your place, be able to load up some of your kids and go places, go to the zoo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing had 3rd row seating. So we drove that one until she went off the road on the ice into the woods. That totaled it. Then we had the Passat, I think, was right after that, because Jimmy was done with it. And it had sat for a while too.
Couple years.
What was the deal with that?
Didn't it just sit out there by Jimmy's pool or Jeremy's pool?
No, that's
No,
Jeremy.
that's a whole
Jeremy's?
nother. That's
It's a whole different car. Oh, I thought
Jeremy's
that was your
Jetta.
Passat. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's a Jetta. Okay.
Mine was at my house, and I don't remember why.
What was?
What?
Oh, you bought that white wagon and stopped driving the Passat. You were driving the Passat for your work car, and you bought that white wagon and stopped driving the Passat, and then it just sat.
Yep.
That thing was thick with dust and dirt whenever I got it.
Yes.
And there was something going on with it. I had to do something to it right away, but
Was
I
it
can't remember what it was.
a coolant leak? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like something
so.
had a coolant leak or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I drove it home and it like blew antifreeze all over on the way home. Yep. I think I replaced the radiator actually.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. Had that for a little while until it just quit. And Bill said it was probably the transmission, I think. And he said it wasn't worth anything. It was probably gonna, I should probably pay him to take it.
all right.
So it went to the KCK, and then I don't know where after that.
So Bill,
Does he still have it?
well, he gave it to his son-in-law, and his son-in-law was driving it up until a couple weeks ago when it rained a lot, and then he decided to drive it through high water and flooded it.
So Bill's got to work on it again.
Yeah, so now Bill has it trying to get all the water out of it to see if he can get it working.
Nice. Uh, yeah, man. That little white Jetta was a good one.
Yeah. I drove that thing for a while, and then Joel bought it off of me.
Yep.
Drove it for a while.
Yep. Man. Then after that Passat, that's when we got.
Where's the Mini fit into there?
I guess. Oh, that was just my car. I drove that. Uh, so I think that this red Subaru is,
Is the next in line?
I thought you had a Honda.
yeah. That well, we had the Honda Pilot, but Anna totaled that on the ice.
Oh,
Maybe the Passat was
wait. There was the Subaru she totaled,
before the
and a
Honda.
Chrysler, and then a Honda, or a Honda,
No, she
or
didn't total a Subaru.
oh,
She had an accident in that Intrepid, and then
It was completely her fault.
uh year and then just a few years ago. Oh yeah, so we would have had the Passat in between the Forester and the
I thought
Pilot
the
because
Forester
we
went
had
in
the
the
Pilot
woods.
when we moved to this house.
Yeah.
No, the Forester we sold to a neighbor.
Okay.
We had the Pilot when we moved to this house. I forgot about that because that was the night that we moved in, or our first night that we slept here. That was the night that she crashed it.
Oh, wow.
New Year's Eve. We were headed over to my parents' house for Christmas because we'd been out of town. We were back in town. We're doing house stuff, and we were like, we can do Christmas with you guys New Year's Eve. So I was at my parents' house. She called me, said I just wrecked the car. I was like, oh man. So I left the girls at my parents' house, drove out, got her, got the vehicle up on the tow truck, and towed back to the body shop by our house. And then we went back over to my parents' house. And that's when we got this red Subaru that we have currently.
My vehicle story goes kind of like
Mini
this.
Cooper. Oh yeah.
So in 2004, I bought a 2002 Tundra, and then
Yep.
each of my kids has driven that Tundra for their high school vehicle. And my third kid is hoping that it will survive long enough for him to drive it through his high school career. And if
Dang.
it does, It will be well over 400,000 miles and 20. It's already 22 years old now. 28
I thought you were
years
gonna
old.
say. I thought you were gonna say your third kid was really hoping that it was gonna last through his little brother's high school
No, my fourth
because
kid.
it won't be fair
Right. It won't be
if
fair if
Asa gets a new truck.
right. Well, that's true too. But honestly, I'd buy a 2002 Tundra in a heartbeat with like 100,000 miles on it or 200,000 miles on it.
Yeah, if you could find one.
You
If I
wouldn't
could
just buy a
find one.
brand new vehicle?
No.
Well, what, you could trade your other brand new vehicle in on a brand new vehicle.
What other brand new vehicle?
I don't know if you had one.
Why would I have one?
I don't know.
I don't. I I don't really care that
Dan's
much
not
about
going there.
vehicles.
No, he's not talking
No.
about that again.
No. No. I'm. You talking about my sister? Are you?
Uh-huh.
She ordered it. I told you she ordered it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, they sell them so fast. If they get it in and then I don't end up wanting it, they'll just sell it. I'm like, is that how that works? Is that really how that works? Or if you order a vehicle into a dealership, are they like gonna be like, you need to come get this vehicle?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah,
I don't do that business.
No.
The last time I ordered a vehicle into a dealership was never.
I thought you were gonna say it was not for you.
Yeah, it was for someone else.
No,
I genuinely don't
it was
have
never.
anything against buying new vehicles. But for me personally, the vehicle that I would want if I was buying a new vehicle would probably be it'd probably be 80 grand. And that'd probably be before I did anything to it. Why even go there? You know? Like
Yep. No, that's a lot of
Mhm.
money to spend on
like
something
I,
that can be
I
worth
wouldn't
it 20
I
years.
wouldn't want to go buy a new vehicle that wasn't everything I wanted it to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, like is that I wouldn't go and be like, you know what? I think okay, maybe the exception would be like going and buying a work truck that is a base model work truck.
Yeah.
Like hand crank
Now you have
windows and
talked about
everything.
that a
Yeah,
lot over the years.
but like that truck was 15 or 18 grand whenever I was thinking about doing it, and that truck is now 45 grand or
Yeah,
50 grand,
Yeah.
for a base model.
like the cheapest truck you can get.
hmm I have a 2007 Tundra that has hand crank windows. I'm not even sure if that's a thing anymore.
I don't know.
I
Like if
didn't
you
think
can
it.
even get a vehicle with them,
I don't even know if you can get a vehicle with them.
That's
Right.
I
it's
think that's
probably an
lost to
upgrade.
technology.
It's
Yeah,
an
they're like,
upgrade.
"Oh, we don't know how to do that."
It's like,
Well,
yeah, we can do it, but it's going to cost you.
and even when I was thinking about like back whenever I was gonna get or when I got the Tundra and I was thinking about buying one, I go in the dealership and I'm like, well, this is what I want. I just want the base model. I don't want anything, I want the V6. I want the 8-foot bed, the work truck, WT, white trash. And they're like, oh, you've got to buy like 5 of those to get them. Like your whole
At the
company is,
advertised price.
yeah, you have to like order them early and they'll, you know, send you a little mini fleet of those vehicles. And I was like, no, forget that. Otherwise, I did see I'd probably someday buy a Tacoma or something like that once I don't need a construction level vehicle. put a rooftop tent on it and all that. But I bet you can get a
Mhm.
darn nice one that's 5 years old
Oh yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
that somebody else already put racks on it and everything.
Yeah, dude. Because here's why. Because right over there in that neighborhood with 300 homes, that's sort of out in the country. There's
Paved.
probably 20 of those things over there.
Yeah.
And those rooftop tents in the life of that vehicle that owner is going to have is going to get folded out like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and not to go off of vehicles onto rooftop tents, but I've always kind of wanted to get a rooftop tent, but I'd probably put it on a little teardrop trailer, not on the truck, because you can actually level a teardrop. And if you
Hmm.
have to get your vehicle perfectly level, where are you going camping? Where are you going to park your vehicle perfectly level and like your sleeping arrangement is going to be like
Right over
in
there in their
in a
driveway.
driveway? Yeah, not even in a driveway because it's going to be like pointed up like that. So I would 100% bolt it onto a teardrop, not onto my
Hmm.
truck
Yeah,
if I was going
that'd be a
on
cool
much of a
rig.
trek. But did you guys have you heard that Toyota is actually coming out with a smaller truck
No.
next year
Oh, really?
for the US market? Yeah.
Like
Cuz
like
like
Ford with the Maverick.
so I haven't seen pictures of it or anything. I just read like a blurb about it. Um the way I picture it is the Tacoma now is what the Tundra was in about 2004. Like the Tacoma's that size class of vehicle now. It's practically a 1500, like a what is that, 3/4 ton. Um, so they're going to like remember the little B2000s and stuff like that, the little buzz
Yep.
around. The Toyota Love, well, they were smaller. Like the little Chevy Love was smaller than an S10. The B2000 was a Mazda, and the
Oh,
Toyota.
daggum.
Remember those?
Yeah.
This
Those
says
guys
I
were
just
tinier than
I
a
just looked it
S10.
up
Oh, you
and
did?
it says Toyota is reportedly considering a new compact pickup based on the Corolla.
Whoa.
That's little.
Corolla.
Yeah.
A Corolla with a little bed
The
on it.
Corolla doesn't even have a mono chassis, like an actual chassis, does it?
Uh-uh.
Maybe the truck won't.
Uh-uh. Oh, let's see here. Motor Trend says Toyota's oh, they just got a picture of the 87.
Those are sweet little
Toyota's cheap
trucks.
compact pickup truck, all but done. All but done deal for America. It's not a matter of if, but when. They don't have any concept photos though. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be probably a similar type pickup to the Maverick. Like it's basically a car with a pickup bed on it.
Have you guys ever seen you should look this up. Have you ever seen the Toyota $10,000 truck?
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
look that up.
Like
Like
an
Toyota.
actual truck.
Yeah, yeah. I would. This is it is an ugly mug. I kid you not. There's no body paneling, no contouring. It is a It is a stamped out like thing you'd see driving around like a third world country.
Yep.
Dude,
Everything on it is built for 100% practicality. There's no
Except for
airbags. There's
fitting in it.
no what?
Except for fitting inside of the thing.
No, it's a full size truck.
What?
Toyota's $10,000 future pickup truck,
Hilux
basic
flatbed.
transportation.
Oh, but it's not a It's not available in the U.S.
They're not going to sell it here. No,
No.
because it's like its bed has fold down side panels. Its side doors are single layer steel or aluminum stamped doors.
Doesn't meet safety standards.
Oh, I guarantee it doesn't meet safety standards. Steel
Yeah.
rims. It is a work truck. Period.
Would you buy it?
I'd buy something like that new. Yeah, 10 grand. Heck yeah.
You get a fleet of those.
But I was reading about the question of whether they would do something similar in the US, and they basically said we would not do something similar in the US because even if we did a $20,000 truck that met all the technical safety standards, all it would do is take business away from our premium truck sales in the US.
Well, sure.
It wouldn't add any, like it wouldn't buy them any more market share. It would just turn a few of their $60,000 trucks sales into $10,000 truck sales. So there's no incentive to do that. Ford is kind of like the only remaining, I don't know if you've seen the white Ford fleet trucks, like the work trucks.
Yeah.
They're kind of the only remaining, like, we're building a really basic truck for 40 grand guy out there at this point. And they're not great looking trucks, but they are work trucks.
I don't know that you can be very concerned about what a truck looks like when you're talking about trying to spend as little money as possible.
Yeah.
No. Right.
Like Toyota, Toyota doesn't even have a full 8-foot bed truck anymore.
Really?
I think mine's one of the last ones, 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. And you can't, like the Ford, you can get a crew cab with an 8-foot bed. Granted, it's a massive mug of a truck when you do all that, but Toyota, I don't even think they, like, maybe you can have a Toyota Tundra special made, but it's not one of the options listed on there. Because it would be longer than, like, I think they use their longest chassis for their longer beds and for their bigger crew cabin. They just take it out of the bed, you just slide it back and forth on their longest chassis. But
let's see here if I can build myself a Toyota with an 8-foot bed.
You couldn't in 2024.
Huh? Trucks. Toyota Tundra.
You on the Toyota website? Build. You build that, I'll build the truck I'd buy.
We'll see what the difference is.
We'll see what the difference is.
Come on now.
Oh, wait a second. They've got a Crew Max. Nope. When you go to Crew Max. Oh, you can get a double cab with the 8-foot bed now. You couldn't do that last year.
You should get that one, Dan.
But you can't get a regular cab at all.
It has to be some form of extended cab.
This year you can't get a regular cab. You can get a double cab with an 8-foot bed, or you can get a Crew Max with a 6.5.
I can't even get into their website.
Double cab 8.1 foot bed is available this year. It wasn't last year. Let's see. That'll work. You can't get a V8 in it anymore, apparently. That's dumb.
Oh yeah, you can get the 8-foot bed. Double cab, 8-foot bed.
Can you not get a four-wheel drive in it? Are you in?
In an 8-foot bed.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not giving me an option for an all-wheel drive.
SR5.
Huh. Well, that'd be dumb.
Yeah. Oh
Why
yeah,
wouldn't
4-wheel
you?
drive.
It must just be my app.
Yep. Yep.
Are you doing the? Are you doing the?
It's the SR5, 25 Tundra SR5, double cab, 8-foot bed.
Double cab 8-foot bed.
Interior. They don't have leather.
I don't know. I can't even get it to pull up a four-wheel drive.
Your selection requires changes. Oh, you must select the premium package. Oh, but I think if you select the premium package, then you can't have the 8-foot bed.
Because an 8-foot bed is now a work truck, basically.
Maybe.
Yeah, mine's not letting me select anything. Four-wheel
V6
drive.
engine. Yeah, basically, if you select the 8-foot bed, you have a choice of color. You can choose boulder fabric or boulder black, or no, black fabric.
Oh, I should have
V6
selected a
engine,
different.
4-wheel drive.
I see what I did wrong.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of options. If you get a 8-foot bed, you can only get it in basically one. You got color options. Oh, you can get different wheels.
I got four-wheel drive to come up. I scrolled down to the SR5 and I did get the four-wheel drive. I was on that basic one.
Oh, if you just go to
If you're in the SR, you can't get it. So here's the crazy thing. This thing says that I've just built a $52,000 Toyota SR5 Tundra with an
Dang.
8-foot bed. But I have never walked a dealership and seen anything even close to $50,000 on Tundras.
no. Yeah, if you're in that SR, it's two-wheel drive only. And I think you have even less options. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to give it all my
SR.
information.
You should do that. That way they can call you, get everything set up.
They don't even know about the four-wheel drive 8-footer from 2007. That's funny. Oh, that's a two-door, not a two-drive. Never mind. 0.7. Automatic. Four-wheel drive. 200.
Oh, okay. I did get it to. I did get it to allow me to get the nicer interior, the SR5 premium package. Oh, what's this SR5 convenience pack? Oh, that's a no. Hmm.
It ain't
Tow
happening.
mirrors. It's not.
No, not for me. I don't even like. Do you even want a truck that you don't feel like beating up as a work truck?
No, not really.
Like I feel like closest I'm ever gonna come to wanting a new truck is whenever I don't need to do anything with it anymore.
Just
And then
drive it.
I don't know that I'll want a full size truck at that point either. I mean,
You get one of them 10K trucks.
get me a 10K truck
Heck yeah.
to do my work with, and then
You should, you know what you should do? You should get one of those things imported. Like you should
do
do all
like the mini truck
you should
deals.
figure it out
Yeah,
and
I
and
as
put it on
goofy as it
YouTube
is,
and it'd probably
I
pay
would
for itself.
I would drive one of those mini trucks around just for grins. Like
Heck yeah.
I think that'd be a fun deal.
You should do it.
I want one for here. I drive that thing into town,
Yeah.
drive it back and forth to work.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
I got to go to bed soon, but I want to show you my video from today, guys, if I can find it.
Hmm.
It's only a minute, but I think it's kind of cool. Shorts.
Apparently some other people do too.
Well, I don't even think they get to the good part if they're only averaging 30 seconds of it.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah. It's short. On shorts, people, I think they count it if the person watches it even for, a minute. Share screen,
Mm-hmm.
video details, share. Can you see my video? See that pulls
Yeah.
it up. Pull that up. All right.
See a deer poof print.
I am mowing in the woods, mowing one of the trails at our Airbnb, and we have a bunch of trails, like 2 miles of trails through
Is
the
that
woods.
clear?
And I just jumped off the mower
Yeah.
to move a log that had fallen in the path, and I found this. And honestly, like, I'm giddy. It may be kind of silly, but I'm giddy looking at this thing. Here is a track. Here's a track from a doe white-tailed deer. Okay, see my finger compared to it. Well, right beside this log that I moved, I found this. That is a fawn track. It is the size of my index finger. There's another doe about, comes to about there on my finger. But that is a fawn track. That's a fawn track, and it's somewhere right in the woods here. Probably just bedded down. I haven't seen it, but that thing's got to be a little bitty deer. That is a really cool thing to find. All right, have a great day, guys.
Isn't that cool? Like
now
that
that you
track
just
is
shared that,
long. Yeah.
you're gonna have us you're gonna get us a copyright strike.
What? It's my video. Oh.
Yeah.
Shoot,
Did you I
forgot.
sent you that I sent you
No, but
that
that's a reaction
screenshot,
video.
didn't I?
We
Except
just did a
that
reaction video.
I think that you have to have I think that somehow you have to be on screen
We were.
when that's happening, which it goes you go away.
Oh, we go completely away.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I could see us at the bottom, but not
I
on the
think
live feed.
uh
Shoot.
there's got to be, well, daggum.
We
No,
were on there.
huh? We were? Okay. So maybe. But we got that copyright last week, which wasn't actually a copyright strike
Yeah, it
because it
said
said
they allow it.
this user
Yeah,
allows their stuff to be shared on YouTube.
right. Well, I allow it to be
Um,
shared on YouTube.
oh, good. Thank you.
I just waved the magic wand over it.
We got 13 views.
Today?
Yeah, right now.
Hey, hey, viewers. Why don't you chime in and
Thir-
say
uh,
what's up?
no comments, but average view duration is 2 minutes and 59 seconds.
There you go.
That's all you need.
It's so weird.
So, on the
Um,
deer thing, you've saved little fawns that were pretty little. Is that a 5-pound
I
fawn?
tried,
Is that like a 3-pound fawn?
dude. Yeah, that thing, that's
I mean,
little bitty, dude.
it's literally, it was this big, the whole hoof print.
Hmm.
In mud,
I mean,
which
I'm
means
pretty
like,
sure once they're like 5 or 7 pounds, they're, well, hang on a second. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Ugh,
oh,
I'm just
turn off
gonna
your mic
run.
if you're getting ready to poop.
No, I'm not. I'm going out to the garage to grab something.
Oh, okay.
I was scrolling through your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, is that measure? That
Yeah.
That thing's silly. I like it. It worked for what I was using it for. Have you ever used one of those?
No.
It's just you can basically make any shape.
Right. It's got those little fins or whatever that. Yeah.
For that, no more accurate than it needed to be to cut plank flooring around its round toilet. It was actually pretty good. If you
Yeah.
were trying to get very precise, it wouldn't be.
So
But
this
see,
little dude, this
that's
is
way bigger
the
than.
size of that. Nuh-uh.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the top of the hoof. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're looking at that in the mud, that's this. And this little guy was probably 5 to 10 pounds.
Yeah.
This thing got mowed by when they made hay last year.
Ugh.
Yeah, I just found it in the field after they bailed. But yeah, that thing's little. Yeah. Pretty fun. Yeah, that's teeny tiny.
Yeah. I would like to have seen it in the woods, but those
Yeah.
suckers will get down soon. Like I've watched them. They see something and they're just like, and they're like sitting there in a little ball like that big, and you'd never see it.
I had one week and a half ago jump up when I was mowing, and I never was real close to it. It was a little bit bigger, a little older. And so I never got real close to it, but it kept popping up and running. And then I'd go around, somewhere else and come back through and end up being up by it again. And it'd pop up and run again. I saw it like 3 times doing that. But, its hooves would have been bigger than that. But
And I don't know if this hoof print was as big as that one right there. Like it was really, really slick mud.
mm-hmm.
And for it to be walking through that mud and not even like slightly bend its hoof out, like it was like poked deep in the mud but it wasn't like anything like that, any weight.
That's fun.
I mean,
Tiny little
this
deer.
hoof is smaller than my thumbnail.
Yeah. Did you find that whole deer or just the leg of it?
Nope, I only found the leg.
Okay.
I
What
guess
happened to
maybe
that one that
the
you tried to
rest of it
rehab?
might have got. It
Failed?
died.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to it before I got it? Like what happened
To
in
yours.
order that I got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here, this is my theory on that deer. Um, I found that thing. It was just standing by the barn, and it was covered in flies. And so I grabbed it. Well, I mean, I kind of like I let it be for a while, like an hour or so, and there was no doe coming around, and the thing was out in the sunshine, and it's covered in flies. So I grabbed it and I cleaned it up, and it was not acting right. It was overheated, and it had some kind of weird uh, injuries.
Huh.
And so, and then also, like it had some odd, what I'm pretty sure were like claw marks or
Mm.
talons, and I'm pretty sure it had some like brain trauma
Hmm.
because eventually it started having seizures.
Mm.
And so my theory is that it got nabbed by like an eagle or something,
Yeah.
or something like snagged it and tried flying off with it and dropped it from a height.
Yeah.
And that's where the head
Maybe the
trauma
head
came in.
trauma. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that would have been cool to see.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. So yeah, we only had it for like a day and a half or 2 days or something, I think. I can't remember.
Speaking of raising babies,
Got it.
how's little rabbit doing?
Oh man, it's doing good. It's real happy that we have a garden and are willing to share. It really likes cabbage leaves,
Nice.
cauliflower leaves. So it's pretty wild, which is good. I mean, obviously it's fun to hold them and pet them and stuff like that. But if you're actually wanting to release it back into the wild, you kind of want it to stay wild. It's pretty wild. If you stick
Yeah.
your hand down in the pen, it like freaks out. So, but it's doing good. Eat- We feed it with a syringe, goat milk replacer. It likes it. It's pretty fun. Anyway,
Oh, man. I gotta go to bed, guys.
all right, time to be
My
done.
time is done.
All right, well, good talk.
Mhm.
We'll do it again. And to all of our viewers, thank you. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Next
See ya.
time.
And